This is going to be my first update for the Finish 7 by Spring challenge for 2016, and I actually have 8 products because I'm pretty sure that one of them isn't going to be finished off, but as of right now, I actually haven't finished anything off, and it's been about, I would say, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks since I started this. So I will start off in kind of the order that I would apply them to my face. This first product, this is the Sephora Instant Depuffing Gel. This is just the little deluxe size sample right here, and when I started, I have a mark on the back. I was right up at that top mark there, and I'm currently down to that bottom one. So there's really not a ton of product left in here. I think that I'm going to cut this open before the end of the project and see if I can get every last little drop of this out, because I do really enjoy this and I would like to purchase the full size when I'm finished with this. Then I have the Lorac Touch Up To Go Concealer and Foundation Pen. This is what it looks like here. And this is actually not in my shade. This is a little bit too orange for me. I'll link the intro video down below in case you wanted to see the actual shade and what it looks like compared to my skin tone. But this is in CF5, that's the shade, and it just has kind of a foundation brush top here where the product comes out, and you just click the top to disperse the product, but I only use this underneath my eyes since it is so orange to kind of cancel out my under eye circles, and I actually don't have any way of showing you how far I am in this product, so I'm just going until it stops pumping out of the bottom, but as of right now it's still working just fine. I have the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer here. This one is in number 15, which is fair, and previously I showed that there was just a little bit at the bottom and some along the edges. I've actually cleaned out everything that's along the edges, and the only product that's in here is right down against the bottom where the brush can't reach. Can you see that line right there? I've taken the stopper out of this, but if I open it up and show you the inside, hopefully you'll be able to see that there's no product along the edges until you get down to the bottom. So I'm going to see if I can get this last little bit out. When I had the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and I only had a little bit down at the bottom, I had a very skinny eyeshadow brush, and I just stuck the end of it down into the bottom and got it out that way. So I'm going to try that with this. This one should be finished off relatively soon. I would say maybe 4 or 5 days of product is down at the bottom. Then this next one is quite exciting, I think. Personally, it was pretty exciting. Yesterday, I actually hit pan on this. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. This one is in the shade Mirage. This is just one of the little mini deluxe size samples of their blushes. So this one only had 1.5 grams of product to begin with. But as you can see there, I have a little bit of pan right there. If you look closely, you can kind of see that this edge over here is a little bit discolored. I wasn't very smart, and right at the beginning of this project, I was like, hey, I wonder if the big blushes can be, pushed out of the pan really easily. I bet that I could pop this one out and toss it into a smaller, like, Z palette, and then I can travel with it and stuff and not carry around so many bulky packages. Well, instead of trying to push through the bottom, because I don't think there's an actual pinhole on the mini ones, I just went like this really hard against my hand, and just the one edge over here fell out, but I didn't lose any product. I just flipped it straight back over and repressed that edge back in. So you can see there's a little bit of discoloration, but it's been working just fine. The color is the same on my skin. So anyway, that is the update on this blush. I have a highlighter that was included, and the markings on this one are quite difficult to see. So when I started, I was at the second line here. This mark at the top was from a project from 2015 that I wanted to use this up before the end of the year, and I didn't. So I'm actually starting at this second line right there, that one that's in the middle, and I got down to that point right there. And I've really been enjoying this. I would consider picking up the full size if I wasn't concerned about it being a cream product and going off, before I was able to finish off the big size, but if I ever got another one of these minis, I would be quite happy to have a mini one. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see that very well, but I'm right at the bottom of that second line there. I've really been enjoying the application method of this, so I'll just run a little onto my ring finger and then dab it onto my face that way, and then whatever is left over on my ring finger, I'll kind of just dab it onto my collarbone when I'm finished, and I think it blends out beautifully, so really have been loving this. I have a lipstick in this project. This is from Bite Beauty. This is one of the Luminous Cream lipsticks in Vouvray. When I had my intro video, I had a black mark on here, and I think it was a little bit difficult to see the line against the dark gray packaging, so I did put a silver line, and I think that's really helping the line to show up a little bit better. But when I roll this up, you can see the progress from that top line to the part where I'm at right now. So I really think that this one's moving along just fine, and I actually haven't been focusing on this one that much. So I will toss this into my bag and take this up to the office. It's a very easy pink shade to wear. It's very light and like an everyday shade. So this will go with pretty much anything that I decide to wear for the day. Now, moving on to the lip gloss that was in here, I'm quite concerned with this. So this is the Urban Decay Lip Love Honey Infused Lip Therapy Gloss in the shade Drizzle. So it's essentially a clear gloss. Now, when I started, I was up at that top mark right there. These squeezy tube lip glosses, I usually steer clear of putting them into projects or anything just because there is so much product in these teeny little tubes. Anyway, I got down to this point right here, and the only thing that concerns me is the way that I'm holding this package. You can see it's very thin along this top section, and then it widens a lot towards the bottom. So I definitely think I'm going to have to toss this into my bag and reapply it a few times a day and kind of focus on this one a little bit more than I have been. So that is where I'm at with this one so far. The progress looks great, but I'm just concerned with the packaging getting a little bit wider towards the bottom. But it's going well, and it's clear, so I can top it over pretty much any lipstick that I apply. The last item that I included is the Maybelline Clean Express Makeup Remover. This is kind of a gel formula. This is such a strange formula. This is the product here. I don't know if they still sell this in stores currently, but I really enjoy the fragrance of this, as strange as that is. But right up here, that is where I started, and when this is laying flat, I kind of just moved it around and shook it up a little bit. For me to hold this so there's not a glare, it looks like the product's all the way up there, but I'm down at that mark there, and I really need to step it up with this one. I'm not sure if this one's going to be finished off. That's why I added in an additional product for this challenge, but I would really like to move this one out since the gel formula really isn't my favorite method of removing eye makeup, but it's quite effective, so I don't really have a problem with it. I would just like to move it out as quickly as possible. So anyway, that is my update. Hopefully I can have one more update up before March 20th, but that is it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.